G'day, Ross Gilmore here from Tattykeel Meat Sheep Studs. We've been getting a lot of questions on our selection criteria and how we go about assessing our rams as far as potential sires or how we catalogue them in the sale. So we're just going to give a quick play-by-play on how we go through and visually assess them prior to sale or joining. So the very first thing we assess on a ram is his head. We start right at the front. So we're looking for a strong, dominant head. We look for width in the muzzle. The rams have got to be powerful enough to be a dominant head type. Obviously, on the Aussie whites, we want the dark pigment around the eyes and nose and mouth. We want the eyes to be well placed, not too high up on the head, not popping out the top or anything like that. Good ear placement, good width in the poll. Generally speaking, this width in the muzzle and poll will relate to more shape through the rest of the animal. On shoulder placement, we're looking for that shoulder to be well set. So one way of picking it, you feel his spine in through here. Those shoulder blades should be slightly lower, so they're well set into his spine. Then that width in the shoulders, we want adequate width from the neck through into the shoulder, so that seamless finish straight in there. And then also as we're looking down the sheep, we want him to be wider in this rump area than through the shoulder. So once again, looking for that wedge shape, width in the back, a little bit finer in the front. Then as we move back through, already touched on spring of rib, so enough capacity in this area. That's got a lot to do with softness and doing ability. Sheep that are too tight through this area won't have the capability to put much weight on, no matter what the conditions are. Loin-wise, straight in and feel the loins like that. That'll give us a good indication of where they're at. You can actually feel depth and width just with your hands. Generally speaking, you can see it as well without even putting hands on them. Then when you move back through, get that centre line there, we're looking for width in this back leg. When you see that profile's the profile, you're looking at a leg of lamb in the shop. That's the depth off the tray. We want a decent amount of depth in that, which equates to width through the hips. And also for breeding purposes on the ewes side of things, she'll be adequate width in that pelvic region to have lambs and that sort of thing with no difficulty. So on the back leg, we're looking for twist, we call it. So that's the angles from the hip down through to the hock here. We're looking for twist, so enough angle in these bones here to be able to lay on meat and shape. Obviously, when you're looking at a leg of lamb in the shop, this is the profile that you're seeing. So we want as much as we can from this area here all the way to the back, filled all the way down through to the hock. And all the way through to the pin down here as well, or up here. And as you can see, that's a massive leg of lamb on this fella. The other reason for this twist is for mobility or joining purposes. If he's too straight from the pin here down, he'll eventually break down in that area and you won't get longevity out of your rams. So looking from the back side of the sheep forward, we look for that wedge shape. So wider in the back, finer in the shoulder, and then from side on also that wedge shape where we want much more depth in this area of the sheep and narrowing off to up the front. Once we've visually assessed all those different things, we look for balance in the animal. So all the areas that we've gone through assessing the ram, there's a happy medium in all those things. More doesn't make it better. They've got to be adequate length, adequate height, adequate weight. You can go too far on those things. So in saying that, that's a general rundown of how we go through the sheep and assess them to rank them the way that we do. Hopefully, if there's any questions or comments, we can catch up with you at the sale or at another time and discuss it. Thank you.